Do you want to know what it takes to be a junior banker on Wall Street? Well, check out these numbers. 10,000 hours in 2.5 years. That means 8-hour work week, 6 days a week. That's what it takes to be a junior analyst or junior banker on Wall Street.
This is a Two Doc Minds. Thank you and welcome to our channel. We're excited to show this topic to you today. I'm Dr. C.
And I'm Dr. J.
And we are Two Doc Minds, as I mentioned. Today we're going to be going over a video discussing a prominent CEO's strategic plan to bring on talent into their organization.
And we're going to give you a little commentary and our thought on it. So without further ado, check out this clip here.
Let's talk about how somebody becomes a wealth manager. I mean, I don't know if people grow up and say, I want to be a wealth manager, and I don't know if they have a special course at Harvard Business School or other places, how to be a wealth manager, but what kind of people do you hire who are going to manage the money for other wealthy people, and how do you train them?
So training on Wall Street, but specifically in wealth management, is a very, very long process. We have 2,200 analysts starting today, and they're going to be working through the summer. We have 3,600 analysts across JP Morgan Chase that will start at the very end in the September time period for their full-time role. And we work very hard to go through in-depth training and then to work through which ones actually are good at stock investing, which ones are good at M&A transactions, which ones are good at helping people understand things in a more simplistic manner.
So we're going to stop there, and we're going to really try to dissect what you're saying. What you're basically saying is simple. We're going to put you in a training session. We're going to give you some tests. We're going to assess your strengths and your weaknesses, and then we're going to figure out, where do you fit better? Are you going to fit more in an analytical role? Are you going to fit more in the sales role? Are you going to fit more into a comms role, or whatever roles that it had with JP Morgan?
Yes, the program is starting off strong with onboarding these students, these trainees, by having this amount of intense training and education, as she emphasized in this video. It's about the training and educational program and indoctrinating these new people that are coming into this organization and having them learn right off the bat, this is the way we do things, and this is how we want you to do in our program.
And they're bringing in 2,200 people. So you can imagine, they're bringing in so many people because they know many of them are going to get washed out. Why? Maybe it's type of work that they get into and they say, hey, this is not what I want. Or you're looking at 6 days a week doing this training. This is too much. I want a better work-life balance. Or, you get people that just, the content may be a little bit too tough. So they bring in a lot of people right into the organization so they can see, who can make it through this intense training. But that's not it. Listen to a little bit more.
That's a 2 to 3 year training program, but that's pretty fast. If you think 10,000 hours is about what you need to master any subject, if someone comes in and has a regular, 8-hour-a-day job 5 days a week, it's going to take you about 5 years to have a base level mastery. On Wall Street, it's more like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That cuts you down to about 2.5 years before you become mastered in something. Once they've got...
So think about that. Think about that.
Amazing.
They're telling you straight up front, you're not going to have a lie. Hey, you're going to have to put your 10,000 hours in 2.5 years, meaning you're pretty much going to have to do 2 jobs, right? If for a normal person that work a 40-hour work week, we're telling you, no. That's not how we do it in JP Morgan. We got to get you in and out of our program. We got to get you to master our material. Instead of taking the average person to get 10,000 hours 5 years, they're saying, no. You got 2.5 years to do that work. So the intention, the time, the effort, you have to double what you're looking for. So they're setting the culture and they're setting the stage at the beginning that to be a junior banker at our firm, or probably any firm, you're going to have to work really hard.
Yeah, this is a very interesting approach to how to run an organization and get people in new to your organization very quickly adjusted and adapted to your organizational culture. I'd like to see these types of case studies because it gives you a look behind the curtain to saying, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take you in. We're going to put you into our facilities, and we're going to have you learn how we do things. And every single day for at minimum 10 to 12 hours per day, this is what you're going to hear. This is what we're going to talk about. And this is what you're going to be expected to produce. And I think most people that really want to excel in their career have these types of experiences.
No, Sid, I don't agree with you more in the sense that it will, when you're looking at what it will take to be successful for this junior banker opportunity at JP Morgan, at least, what it will take is a tremendous amount of effort and time. And so if you're a mother, right, of children, if you have a family, if you're taking care of an elder, if you have other things that are going on in your life, you have to understand, is this the commitment that you're willing to take? And what they're saying up front is, listen, it is what it is to get through our program. Are you committed or not? If you are, and you put the time and effort in, potentially, if you make it to the end, there's other opportunities for you. But, it's going to take a big effort. And what you have to understand is, are you ready for that, right? And are you ready for that type of career? Are you ready to put that type of time? Because when you're looking at six days a week, you're looking at working half of your day, working for somebody, studying and working and getting to understand that content. You're giving up a lot. Are you ready to give it up? So we're going to play a little bit more and give you a little bit more feedback on some of the other steps that it takes to be able to move forward.
That under their belt, they can then join a team. And if they've been successful going through the analyst program, joining a team, then the team will work through how that works. But it is a constant education each and every day. Every morning we start with an 8 o'clock meeting, and I call it like a mini university. And it's not just about what you've read in the newspapers as to what happened overnight. It's about understanding how all of those components fit together in a client's portfolio, and then what might be right for you would be different than somebody else. And you're synthesizing all that information every morning, and then you're going out and you're figuring out how to apply it to each situation.
So now she goes on to say is, once you get through the program, right, there's still a ton of training left every day so that you could understand different portfolios and be able to get advice. So the first stage is see where she talked about earlier on, to see where you're at. The second stage, put in time and effort. The third stage is to understand those strengths. And if you make it through the program, right? If you make it to the program, continuous learning and training so that you can provide your clients with the highest level of service. And just amazing the amount of work that you have to put in to be a junior analyst.
In this clip, I think that she analyzed or highlighted the fact that these individuals will be going through the information in real time. And the leaders of the organization are going to be looking at you and seeing what you're doing with the information that you're presented and taking that and making their decisions on if you are a viable resource for their organization, if you will become that junior banker that you're looking to become. They're seeing how you're using that information and how you're taking in all this education that they're providing and saying, oh, okay, this person is either going to step up to the plate and be a part of our program, or we're going to find ways to part with you during this process.
No, and that's a great part. From the people that I know that went into some of these programs, I mean, there's maybe a 25-30% success rate. Most people don't know what they're getting themselves into. Most people don't understand the time, effort, and commitment. She speaks to 12-hour days. And I can tell you there's even harder days, especially as you get ready to take different type of examinations and the study and the effort and that you have, and you have to pass those exams or you get weeded out the program. So, there's a huge investment in you, but they're asking for your blood, sweat, and tears. So you have to understand that you're giving that up. But we're going to play another clip that I think is even more critical, that once you get in there, right, and once you have it, she really talks about how she's training folks to even develop more wealth. So take a look at this clip.
Suppose somebody's got $5 billion with you under management, and he or she calls up and says, my son Johnny is really smart, and he's graduating from a college soon, nice junior college, and he would like to be in the wealth management business, and can he be trained by JP Morgan? How do you deal with those kind of problems where you have big clients who want their progeny to be in the wealth management business?
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Does that ever happen?
and that happens all the time. And of course, we always want qualified candidates. So we encourage everybody to apply to JP Morgan Chase because there's lots of different homes across the 250,000 roles that we have at JP Morgan Chase, also across so many countries around the world. It's really fun and exciting to think about where you could move around at a young age and be able to have the experience of working in a global firm. But if you don't and you aren't hired, we also do a lot of work for families and doing education programs for the children of families. So if you don't decide that you want to work on Wall Street, you can come in for a week long, 2 weeks long, some of them are 3 weeks long, and we help you to understand the principles of managing money so that you get that basic exposure. And then for lots of families, we spend time meeting once or twice a year with the whole family. And we sit together, we talk about the goals, we talk about giving, we talk about how to run a proper family office with a set of children and parents and how the dynamics of that work.
So, she gave a lot of information on there. Basically what she said is, hey, we have a tough program, and we do have sometimes our clients' children or, friends of our clients' children that are high wealth individuals about how they can become wealth managers. And basically he said, we'll put you through the same program. If they can cut it, then we'll hire them. If they're not, then JP Morgan and everybody else, this is a business, right? And the business is, let's sit down as a family and let's not only train the parents, but we're going to train the siblings on how to be best wealth managers. Why do they do that? Well, they just want their business. They have to table with the family, right? When the son inherits the wealth, they're going to be there to help invest it, right? It is a business, and you have to recognize it a business. So when you're going into these programs, you got to understand that everything that you're doing in business, and for them, they want you maximum effort, right? So they can have the maximum rewards, which is just profits, right? And so, JP Morgan is just like any other organizations. But what you find out is the people that already had the wealth, this is the language of wealthier people. So many of folks here, right, are trying to build their wealth and trying to understand it. And whether you're going in that field or not, right, you have to understand how that wealth is built. And that's critical.
Yes, this is a very intentional, multi-layered approach that JP Morgan is taking when you're talking about taking on the progenies of these families that have trusted their investments with their organization. So they have to take it and say, in order to keep this client, I need to also consider the fact that the progeny or the people that come after the families are maintaining the wealth after certain people have transcended, that we have to train the next generation to take care of the wealth and continue on building on JP Morgan as a company. And it's a very smart strategy on their part for them to say, okay, even though we can't necessarily accept the progeny into the program at this time, we would still like to encourage them to be a part of our organization in a different capacity, meaning that we're going to still educate and continue the educational strategy of teaching what JP Morgan is and how we do business.
So, once you make a comment below, see if you're very interested in becoming it. This is for you. Make a comment. If it's not, let us know what your thought is about putting that type of energy, effort into it. What we recognize here on Two Doc Minds is no matter what you want to do in life, right? No matter what career you choose, you need to know what you're getting yourself into so that you can understand what it takes to be successful. Every career doesn't demand 80-hour work weeks, right? But there are careers that has that high demand. And as you go for it, you have to understand, is your life, is your commitment, is your energy and your effort there to sacrifice so that you can do that. And you have to know that before you be successful. And what we try to let everyone know to Doc Minds is what it takes to be successful so that you can make it to the next stage of your career or elevate your business to the next level so that you can be successful. And that's what we do here on Two Doc Minds.
Yes, good point, Jason. I think that it's important to take away that the constant theme is that you have to invest a certain level of time and have a certain level of commitment to your job. And if you want to be great and be successful at something, it does take a certain amount of hours and in years even for some people to become a master at what you do. So this is a great example of that strategy that people can use in their careers to be successful.
So so we just want to close with that and saying, listen, if you put in hard work and you sacrifice, there's a lot of other things on the other side, but you got to make sure that it's right for you. So again, welcome to Two Doc Minds. I'm Dr. J.
I'm Dr. C.
We want you to like, we want you to comment, we want you to subscribe, and more importantly, we want you to watch our next episode. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.